Hey, happy Sunday to everybody. It is Sunday evening. My name is Dr. Randy Arno. I'm a professor of psychology at the University of Southern Mississippi, and I'm owner and founder of Headstrong Coaching. So what I was going to do tonight was just do a quick video with some tips for stress management during these times of social isolation. It's for me personally, it's been more stressful than usual, and I know a lot of people who have been more stressed out than usual, more anxious, disconnected from friends and family. So I just want to give you some tips for managing stress, and some of these will be specifically related to whole being in quarantine and social distancing. So I've got 7 tips for you. First one, I'll just jump right in. First tip is to the best of your ability, stay connected with friends, family, and loved ones. Obviously, this is it's more difficult than it has been before. Most of us have been stuck at home and not able to really go about our normal day-to-day interactions with coworkers, friends, and family. So it takes a little bit of extra effort to really stay connected with people. And staying connected and having social support is extremely important for our mood and managing stress. So obviously, everybody we can text. We've got Facebook Messenger. Really, I'd highly recommend for people you're close to schedule something that's face to face where you can see them and hear them, like FaceTime, Skype. A lot of us are using Zoom now as well. It makes a big difference to actually see somebody and hear their voice. I've got some good friends that I'm disconnected from right now. One of them's several of them are just stuck at home because they're quarantining. See if I can say that word right, quarantining. When I'm in California. So what we've started doing is Zooming, and it can just be like a regular phone conversation. Sometimes it's more just like hanging out as if we were on the patio drinking a beer together. So it doesn't have to be some sort of anything in particular. But just being able to see people and talk to them. And also, I'd encourage you to connect with people that you're really comfortable with, that you can share emotions with and be vulnerable with, especially because that's especially helpful for managing anxiety and feelings of depression and stress. Just being able to get those feelings out. And usually you'll find, especially in this time right now, other people are experiencing the same thing. So that's the first thing, is to stay connected with family and friends. And like I said, it may take some extra effort because we're out of our normal routines. And so, you may have to just like take an initiative and schedule a Zoom meeting, schedule hangouts. Earlier I had met with some old friends of mine from grad school, and one of them put it together, and we had a big meeting. Hadn't seen them in a long time. Next tip is to make sure you're getting outside and getting some exercise. And this is really important. Even if you're not somebody that normally exercises, I'd really recommend you get out and at least do some walking. Even just walking is really good for you. And being outside, there's a lot of studies that show just being outside and being in nature has a calming effect, reduces feelings of depression and anxiety. And then when you're doing something physical, it's all the much better because there's a lot of research showing exercise is good for our mood and also our sleep, which is really important. So make some time to get outside in the sunshine. Just if you're somebody who runs, go for a run, go for a bike ride, go for a walk. For me, exercise has been a really important part of my own stress management. just in general, not just right now. And then also the next tip is make sure you're getting enough sleep. And I'll tell you, and I personally, my sleep schedule has been screwed up really bad since all this started. There's been days where I've been up till 3 in the morning and sleeping till 10:30. Other times where I've been going to bed at a reasonable hour, but then I'm waking up at like 4 or 5 in the morning. Um, and it's those days when I haven't gotten enough sleep, I can really tell the difference. So I can't emphasize this enough. There's a ton of research on the importance of sleep for our mood. Um, when you're sleep deprived, studies show people are more irritable. They experience fewer and less intense positive emotions. They experience more negative emotions. It's harder to focus. It's harder to concentrate. And also, your judgment's impaired. You make more poor decisions. Um, so that's one reason sleep is really important. Another is it's important for physical health. Sleep deprivation actually suppresses immune functioning. So if you want your immune system to be functioning as good as possible, you want to make sure you're getting enough sleep. It's also the time your body really repairs itself from physical stress. When you're asleep, that's the time when your body's releasing the most human growth hormone, which is basically like the master hormone that controls all of your other hormones. So there's some reasons why sleep is really important. So what I'd recommend is do your best to. It doesn't matter so much when you're sleeping as it matters how much that you're getting enough sleep. So maintain a normal, a regular time going to bed and getting up, whatever it is. Make sure you try to stick as much as possible to the same time of going to bed at night, same time getting up, and that helps that helps you sleep better when you're maintaining a normal routine. Okay. The fourth tip is to do some sort of meditation or relaxation. So meditation and relaxation are really not exactly the same thing, but what I tell my students when I teach them about mindfulness meditation is relaxation is often a side effect of doing meditation. Meditation has been consistently shown to improve our ability basically to respond to difficult situations and emotions rather than reacting to them. So as you practice mindfulness meditation, you're better able to regulate your emotions. Studies have shown it decreases feelings of anxiety and depression over time. It helps you sleep better. And it's not a quick fix or anything like that, but it's basically a skill development exercise. It develops a skill which ultimately helps us to maintain better mental well-being, even in difficult times. Also, it helps us become more aware of our thoughts and emotions while at the same time decreasing our negative judgmental reactions to those same thoughts and emotions. If you've never done meditation before, there's an app called, there's a lot of apps, but there's one called Headspace that I personally have used probably for like 2.5 years now. It's a really, really good meditation app. It's just a guided meditations. You just click go and he basically walks you through it. Starts at a beginner level and sort of builds on itself as you go. And it's normally a subscription-based app, but right now they're offering a collection of free meditations. If you download the app, look for a section called Weathering the Storm, and it's a list of it's some meditations that they're offering for free without any subscription. So that's a really good deal that they're providing for people right now. Now, on the other hand, there's also what I call relaxation training. So, for instance, deep breathing relaxation. That's something you can use if in the moment you're feeling a lot of strong negative emotions, for instance, anxiety. And there's a lot of guided deep breathing exercises you can pull up on YouTube. But essentially, what you're doing is you're focusing on your breathing. You're taking deep inhales from the diaphragm and long, slow exhales that are longer than the inhales. If you have a hard time regulating the in and out breath and really slowing it down, you can just purse your lips like. If you do that, if you just do that a few times in a row, I promise you will feel more relaxed. It actually has a physiological effect. It activates what we call the relaxation response. So even if you take just a few minutes, 5-10 minutes, sitting and doing that deep breathing exercise with the long, slow exhales, that's something you can use in the moment to sort of help reduce that level of emotional reactivity. So moving on, number 5, and this is one that I've not done quite so well on either, is making sure you continue to eat right. I know if you're like me, when I first went to the store to kind of stock up for the quarantine, I put a lot of stuff in my basket that I normally wouldn't buy that aren't that great for me, just kind of as comfort food. And that's fine to a certain extent. But you want to be careful about not getting into a habit of eating a lot of junk food on a regular basis. It's going to feel good in the moment. It's going to make you feel worse in the long run. And also, it's going to reduce your mental functioning. It reduces immune functioning. So eating right, eating a balanced, healthy diet is good for your body's ability to maintain stress, and also is good for your immune system functioning. Number 6, I'll say practice kindness. And I think I've seen a lot more of this. People have seemed to be a lot more patient with other people during this time, but practicing kindness to other people is actually, all kinds of research shows that that's correlated with more positive emotions and happiness. But really importantly is practicing kindness to yourself. This isn't the time where you need to be holding yourself up to quite as high a standard as you normally do. If you're like me, you haven't been very productive these past couple of weeks. And at first I was kind of, down on myself about that because I had all these plans for all these things I was going to do. But you got to keep in mind, it's not like you're on vacation and you're working at home. You're doing as much work as you can at home during a pandemic under a lot of stress. So that's important to keep in mind. And, I think I've seen some memes going around like, if you come out of this and you don't have a new hobby and this and that, well, you never had time to do it to begin with. Well, that's really just kind of bullshit because you got a lot more time now, but you're dealing with a lot more as well. So one other thing I would say is be careful about productive versus unproductive uses of technology, especially social media. And what I mean by that is basically what I'm saying is limit your consumption of news. Right now, most of the news is negative, and you're seeing a lot of the same news repeated over and over and over and over again. You only need so much to stay informed. And when you're spending hours and hours on social media, consuming that same negative content over and over and over again, you're not getting any additional benefit from it. You only need to know so much. And you're basically increasing your levels of stress. And I've found myself getting caught in that as well. So just be careful. What I would say in that regard is wherever you get your news, whether it's the TV, radio, certain news outlets on the web, have a set amount of time you're going to listen to the news or read the news, and then shut it down and be done with it. Now, and because information overload it really is real and it's stressful. You only need to see the death rate so many times. You only need to see all of this stuff so many times before it just becomes obsessive. Be careful about getting in arguments in people's social media. A lot of people are sort of on edge. Everybody knows people say things on social media that they wouldn't say in person. There's a lot of political back and forth right now. If that's something you kind of thrive on and you find interesting, that's fine. If you're like me, it's stressful. I'd be careful about staying away from that. And just know you can't ever win an argument on social media. So don't ever think you're going to argue somebody into changing their mind about politics or anything like that on social media. Now, adaptive use is, using social media for positive things, to consume positive content. So Netflix, YouTube, whatever it is you like to watch, I like to watch comedy videos, stand-up comedy when I'm under a lot of stress. Whatever it is that makes you happy, and also connecting with friends and family using technology is very adaptive as well. So that's essentially what I was going to talk about for tonight. Probably do a couple more videos this week where I'll go into a little bit deeper dive into each of these topics. But right now, I just kind of want to give you an overview, some tips. So one, just to kind of recap, stay connected with friends and loved ones. Try to, schedule times to connect with them since, we're out of the routine of interacting with people in our daily life. Get outside, get some sunshine, get some exercise, be in nature. Make sure you get enough sleep. Try to be going to sleep and getting up at regular times. Be doing some sort of meditation or relaxation, whether it's deep breathing. You can just look that up on YouTube, deep breathing relaxation. It's really simple to do. Mindfulness meditation, I highly recommend. It's actually changed my life since I started doing it a couple years ago. Headspace app or headspace.com. There are free meditations that they're offering without a subscription. Make sure you're eating right, being kind to other people and being kind to yourself, and try to limit how much negative news that you're consuming. So hope everybody has a good night. Hope you guys find this useful. And I will see you later this week.